Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 74. My name is Omar. You probably know that since you've been watching for all these shows. As we approach the 100th episode, I'm excited. We're going to be bringing 100 guests all at one time who have been on the show before. That's exciting. And maybe our next guest will be joining us too. We have a few comments, but before I do that, I want to show you a clip. I was on this wonderful guest. I call her maybe like the Ellen Show or Oprah, that kind of thing. But she's gonna tell us what it is, who she is. Let me just show you a clip from when I was on the show, and then please make sure to subscribe. It is just Jax here. I'll show you a short clip and then bring in our guest immediately.
Good. Well, I'm excited. So you mentioned the word maybe travel. And that's the third question that I have for you before you get to talk a little bit more about yourself. If you could go anywhere right now, Omar, it doesn't matter where it is, what kind of money you have, how much vacation time you have, where would you go right now if you could go anywhere and why?
That's interesting because that's a common question I ask on my show, almost every other guest. And actually, when I turned 40 in November, I took a trip and I traveled around the world to meet some of my connections, right? I went to Chicago, I went to Washington, D.C., I went to Turkey, I went to Bosnia. And so having that ability to go, I went to England.
Okay, there is a clip. You can watch the full show when you go to her channel. And let's go ahead and further ado, bring in our wonderful guest. She better be in the bag. 3, 2, 1, let's bring her in. Is that you? Welcome. Thank you for being on the show. Good.
Thank you, Omar. Happy 74th episode.
Yes, you're number 74. How does that make you feel?
Almost aligns with the year I was born, so it actually feels pretty cool.
Oh, amazing. That's awesome. It's not a coincidence, but we already have people love you. We have Jane here, who will be doing a Zoom party in June together, Father's Day edition. We have Sharon, who's in Phoenix. We met her not too long ago online. And we have, oh, that's you. Wow. So some reason you're able to multitask. All right. And she said, you say, hello, my beautiful friend. All right. Perfect. And you're back here. Great to see you. And then look, it is Aaron, who actually, Aaron did the theme music intro. He did that one. So he's amazing. And then coming back on Friday, can't wait to see him. And then our friend Keith. Is this working? Okay. Savor the flavor. And then he said 74 episode. Congratulations. Yes. I think he's reaching his 100th episode, isn't he? From what I heard. Something like that. Do you remember? Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right. Enough with the comments. Let's get to the important stuff here. Okay. First question. Tell us your name and where are you originally from?
So, Omar, my name is Jackie Hallberg, and I am from the exact same town that I was born in. I live in Michigan. So when you say something about where do people live in Michigan that live in Michigan, we always put our hand up, and it's usually our right hand palm out. I am just below the pinky, right on the Lake Michigan border, probably live about 12 minutes away from beautiful Lake Michigan.
That's amazing. That's amazing. How do you like living there? You've lived there all your life. How do you love it?
I've lived here all my life. I love the people. I love the nature. I love summer. I love a little bit of spring. I love a lot of fall. Do not love anything about winter. So one of these days, I would love to not live here in winter and maybe be in sunny Arizona like you or something else warm. That's why I like to travel a lot too.
I'm sure you've been through a lot of winters in Michigan for sure. Yeah, it would be great to get out. Do you tend to stay a lot of winters in Michigan or do you sometimes leave?
No, I try always to go on some kind of a warm vacation. This year is probably my first one that I haven't in probably about 10 years or so. So I have a reason to stay close to home right now due to some medical testing I'm going through. So I haven't been able to leave like I wanted to, but usually I try at least a week away in the winter because it is just miserable here. A lot of people love the snow, and I'm not saying don't come visit warm or cold places in the winter, but make sure you're dressed for it. Make sure that you're ready for it because it is a culture shock.
It is amazing, yeah. Let's get to the actual real question after this one, which is that was important. But let's say hello to William, a good friend and connection, and we'll do a Zoom party. We have Wisdom. Maybe this is one of your connections. Yeah. Back to Jane again, and come to South Florida. Maybe that's a place there. Aaron, I mean the comments are just coming up the roof there. We have a Lion here, maybe a connection.
Yes, love me some Lion.
And we have also connected with her not too long ago. And we have David. Looking forward to the conversation. Love the horns intro. Yes. Thank you to Aaron. Aaron Gibson, if you want him to do an intro for your show, or help you out, talk to Aaron. This guy here, he is one of the top people in shows from what I've seen. Soul Man Live. Amazing, right? You've been on his show, right? Soul Man Live?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, let's go here. Okay, now, your go-to evening snack. It's a Sunday evening. What would Jackie would love to eat? Or
It depends if I'm in one of my more health conscious areas. Usually it's some kind of fruit, but I don't always have fruit in the fridge. So if I don't have that, lately I've been doing a little bit of peanut butter on some graham crackers. And I just started that like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago for the first time in like 8 or 9 years. I used to never do that. So it's kind of something new. So every now and then I want to spice it up.
that's amazing. That's healthy, but also good.
Healthy-ish.
And what it is, fruits and all that. So awesome. Let's continue. Okay. Now, I saw on your profile that you are a police community coordinator.
Yep, I did
How
that.
was that like, and what was that? What did you actually do?
So I did it for only about a year. And the whole purpose of that position was to link the community with police departments because there can be so much negativity. And the police department that I worked for was really into what they called community policing. That meant they wanted the community to get to know the officers and not only see them when they were getting a speeding ticket or arrested or knocked on their door by something. So my position specifically was something that I thought was going to be my dream job, like the perfect position, because I was able to schedule a whole bunch of like really cool events that the police would come to get to know kids and families. We did fishing derbies and all kinds of different community events in different neighborhoods. However, shortly after I started that position, we went into lockdown with COVID, and we also had the devastation with George Floyd being killed by a police officer. And so it really changed the dynamics. And there was a lot of different work from going to having a lot of fun with that position to where I had to do a lot of crime stats, writing grants, doing a lot of stuff that was super important for the police department, but it didn't light me up because I wasn't able to get into the community like I like. So I only stayed there for a bit.
Got it. And so, yeah, I noticed that was during COVID. So that's kind of interesting. How did that work? And were you certified in like the department to do that task?
So I was one of the few police employees that was not a police officer. So I am a licensed master social worker. So I have all the therapeutic background and training. So for the events and for the grants and things, that's stuff that I was used to doing. But I didn't do actual COVID relief, or I didn't do any kind of medical with the police department. That wasn't something that was part of my position at all.
Got it. All right. Amazing. It is Happy Palm Sunday today. Thank you, Linda. Here is Leslie Flowers, who does the show on Mondays and Fridays. She keeps changing the time. I think it's 11 Eastern, something like that.
11 now, yep.
11 Eastern, yeah. She keeps changing it, but she's wonderful. Watch her. And also we have Keith here and a couple of repeats here. Very wonderful people.
Yes.
Miss Ya, and then he says live. Yeah, now. There's William now.
Yeah. And William has a show today in a couple hours.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does it Sunday too. He's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, cashew butter. That's what he would eat for his snack." It looks like he misses him. And one more comment here from Leslie Flowers. Okay, and then here he is. Okay, such an enthusiastic art. Exactly. Yes, he is. Okay, let's continue to the question 3, I believe. Okay, now, having visited all 50 U.S. states, how did you feel upon achieving this milestone? First of all, tell us how the question, and then how you felt about it, and then what was your favorite?
And it's funny because I never thought I would get there, because I always thought Hawaii was like such a pie in the sky dream. I'd never have enough money or time to go there. And actually it was during COVID when all the flights reduced dramatically, and they finally had, okay, you can fly again, just have a mask on. Well, I have a friend that lives in Hawaii, and he was gracious enough to say that if I could get to Hawaii, he had plenty of room in his car. He had an extra vehicle. And so when I got there, he literally moved out of his master suite so I could have his ensuite master suite, so I wouldn't feel weird being at his place or anything. Once I got to Hawaii, I realized, oh my gosh, I can get any place in the world if I really want to. So that's when I decided. So that was only in 2021. I had probably been to maybe 20 states at that time, Omar. And then when I got to Hawaii, I'm like, I know I want to get to Alaska, so I've got to get to all of them. So I hustled and I got to all 50 states a year and a half ago. And I did 26 out of those 50 states all by myself. So it's different because my last state was Alaska. So when I got there, it was a little surreal because I was all by myself experiencing this majestic place. And I was like, did you see that? Did you see that? And I'm like, oh yeah, there's nobody with me. So the pictures don't do it justice. People can't quite understand how you're explaining it. So I love to travel solo. It is very, not just empowering, but you just kind of like smell things different. You see things different. You're not rushed. You're able to do what you want and explore as long or as short as you want. So I love that. Still, sometimes when I think about it, it's hard to believe that I have gotten to all of them. Now, I never counted states that I just drove through. So some of the states that I drove through, I did have to go back to be able to count them to get to that number of 50. But yeah, I had to do something in each state. Some people only count it if you spend the night in a state. I just had to do something. So some of the states, I just went to the beach for a couple hours, or I went to some kind of a natural landmark, or I went to a state park. And so I enjoyed so many of the states, some of the states that I never thought I would really have anything exciting to do, like Connecticut. I loved Connecticut. Who knew Connecticut had waterfalls? I didn't. It was wonderful. So I loved it. And I encourage.
How you mentioned, I was going to say that you have to not, if you drive through it, it doesn't count. For me, if I fly through it and go to the airport, it doesn't count. I have to set foot in it. So that's interesting. So when did you, what made it that you're actually in the state? You had to spend at least 3-4 hours in it?
No, I didn't have a timeline. I had a thing. I had to do a thing.
Oh, a thing.
So, yep. Whether it was the beach, whether it was going to a park, whether it was eating dinner or finding some kind of a historic thing or a natural landmark.
Okay, that's interesting that you had to do that thing. For me, it's like just stepping foot in California, taking a picture. I'm there.
You're there. I love it.
Yeah. So how was Alaska for you? What was your favorite?
So Alaska was amazing, and it was kind of wild at the same time because when I went, it was warm enough, but it wasn't warm, but it was rainy almost the whole time. And it wasn't when it was completely light out or completely dark out. So I went at kind of an interesting time, but I got to see absolutely everything I wanted to see, except I never saw a moose that wasn't in a specific. Like I saw one moose in Denali National Park. I don't really count that. And I saw one at a animal rescue. So I don't really count that. I wanted to see one in the wild. And I never saw the Northern Lights when I was in Alaska, which was crazy because everybody was talking about seeing them. But I drove almost 1,800 miles in Alaska by myself in 6 days. I do not recommend that to anybody. It was way too long. The chances that I could have broke down and not seen another car for hours and hours could have really been a reality. But thankfully, I was safe and it was great.
One thing before I acknowledge some of the audience is that you said travel alone. Like I traveled in 2024 to Europe by myself. It's a different experience. Yeah, you get to see different things, and that was the first time I actually went internationally alone. And so that's amazing, So that's I acknowledge you for that. Let's say hello to Martha. A good connection, and I might be meeting her hopefully in April, maybe.
Oh, wonderful!
So we'll see, and we'll be doing some more events that will be airing in April with Martha. So she's an amazing connection. Thanks for the shout out. Definitely. We have a connection from you, I think. Sunil here from India. Thank you for joining us. Wonderful connection there. And we have the wonderful Felipe, who agreed to do Zoom party in June. So we'll be doing it with him in June. Yeah, he definitely agreed to that. We actually had to push him and talk to his secretary, 3 times, and then he finally agreed. The busiest man I see here, busier than you, right? You're probably number 3, and he's probably in the top 2 there in busyness, right? So yeah, he agreed, and maybe So Lovely Flowers, bringing flowers there, and the comments are just up the roof here because they love you. So okay,
they love you too.
Oh, exactly. They love us all. So it's a happy Sunday. So that's why we did the show on a Sunday kind of thing. Okay, a couple more questions here. And let me just get to one more comment here. Jackie is inspiring that you did all the traveling. Amazing. Okay, let me check if so there is a commercial break in the middle here. I think there is one more question. Okay, if I go on vacation, what 3 unexpected items would I take? I know you have experience with traveling 50 states. Can you name 3 items?
I always take an empty pillowcase, something that a lot of people don't think about. But if your baggage is overweight, you can always shove some clothes in there, tie it up, and act like it's a pillow going onto the plane, and they won't charge you for it. Plus, you can use it as a light blanket on the airplane, or you can use it to cover a pillow at wherever you're staying if you don't like it. I always take an empty water bottle because you can fill it up and then you don't have to spend $7 for a bottle of water when you get through the airport. And my third thing that's unexpected that you probably wouldn't think that I take is sometimes I will take little things to put my soap on in a hotel or in an Airbnb so that it doesn't land on the surface, because I'm kind of like, I don't know what else has been there and I don't want it to get all slimy and then it moves around and stuff. So little tiny things that you don't always think about when you travel as much as I've done, little tiny things can make your stay just a little bit better.
That makes sense. But so you said the water bottle. I think they allowed it now. They changed the rules, didn't they? I remember, maybe not, where you can actually take a water bottle with water in it. I remember they changed it.
I have not heard that yet. So if it has, that would be amazing, but I just don't want to chance that for sure. And I like to fill up when I go on car rides.
Exactly. Because it's kind of interesting. Because it reminds me, when I traveled, even in the States, somebody was bringing like tuna fish that was open in a can. And so when they went in, the TSA guy was looking at it. I was like, what is that? I was like, do people know that anyone had chips in it? I'm like, come on, guys. Like, do you not read the rules? Like, like you know, a lot of the stuff that people bring, it's like basic stuff. They say, "Oh, I can bring it." They don't have care. So
I know they don't consider all the time the smell, and some of us have scent issues and everything, so it can be pretty traumatic.
You know what would be funny to have a TSA agent? Maybe you had it on the show or your show, and then talk to them about their experience. That would be fun. If you're out there watching, please let us know. Maybe Melanie knows somebody. Yeah, Melanie's a great guest. She's been on the show. Yes. I think it's somewhere in the 60s, so she's great. We have Michael Harris here. Happy Sunday. Yes. And you rock, my friend. We all do. Okay. And I think one more question before the commercial here. Man, these comments are amazing here. Let me just go to this one. Hi, Omar and Jackie. Christy, have to meet with her. I haven't.
She's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And this one and this. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, I'm gonna give you a scenario. 5 items, right? A red colored whistle, a tiny travel size globe, deck of playing cards, rooster clock, or an African giraffe statue. Which of the following would you like to have if somebody gifted to you?
I would probably say, as crazy as this sound, a deck of playing cards, because they could be used in so many capacities by myself or with somebody else, or you could even write on them if you run out of paper and you can hand them off as a business card to somebody. So I think I would find most use out of that.
What about which is the least you would like?
Probably the rooster clock. I don't ever need to wake up to the sound of a rooster.
The funny thing, my grandmother had one, and so every clock, it would do like 1 o'clock, one rooster.
No.
And it was so annoying. But my grandma loved it, so what am I going to do? I'm not going to say anything. All right. Okay. Tell us who is your favorite connection of all time on LinkedIn? And then we'll take a short commercial, about 40 seconds. And tell us who is your best connection overall from LinkedIn.
So usually I would never just pick one person, but because if you've ever heard my story with Damian Kinsey, he is the reason I'm LinkedIn. I mean, yes, I had been on LinkedIn for years and years before him, but I was never super active. I had just started getting active. And when I say active, it was like pop on once a week and maybe say something to somebody or answer a message. It wasn't even really posting hardly anything, maybe once a month for a tiny bit. And Damian came into my world and he supported me on Christmas morning when I thought I was there to support other people that would be alone on Christmas Day. He showed up for me, and that like solidified how I want to show up for other people and how I'm available for people. He took me into the audio event space. We started Wishful Wednesday together. We started Finding Your Purpose together, which were audio rooms. Now we still do things together through the 2350 network and through just talking to each other. We were just in the virtual wellness experience together. I've presented for him for the Work-Life Balance Summit. That's always in October. He is just somebody that, even though we only finally met in person this October, it's like, I know if I need anything, if I've messed something up, if I've stressed about something, if I was to just text him or call him, he just reminds me of my purpose. He reminds me that I'm valued and that I'm here for the right reasons. Even when people have tried to tear me down or they've tried to accuse me of things that were very fraudulent, he's just like, Jackie, stay in your lane. You know where you're at. You know what you're about. That's what's more important than anything else. So he, of course, will always be supreme, no matter how many people I love, how many amazing people have supported me, how I've supported them. He's always going to be my LinkedIn bestie forever and ever. Thank you for asking that question.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, so amazing. Hopefully, I will be able to bring Damien one day on the show. That would be great. It will be a good guest to interview him. So let's do a quick 30-second commercial break. We'll be back with you, and thank you.
Do we truly understand who our guest is? Exploring beyond just name and title. A truly captivating and enticing story awaits you. To be completely understood and recognized. Connection changes everything for us. It all begins with a simple reach forward. Reach out to someone and connect today.
That's my surprise. Oh my gosh, that's so great. I hope you heard everything I just said about you.
Yeah, I was watching the show the whole time. First, let me start with I'm Damien Kinsey, the co-collaborator, work with Wishful Wednesday, 2350 Network, Virtual Wellness Experience, and the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit, amongst other things. I'm one of Jackie's good connections, who she was talking about. The funny part about this is this was the surprise. Me and Omar have been planning this for like 2.5 months at this point. So,
I don't just dump this easy, Damien. I'm like almost like overloaded here. This is so cool.
And you know the crazy part about this, I'm on vacation, as you know, and I was like, I said yes like 2.5 months ago to Omar, but I was like, I can't leave you hanging. I can jump on for a little while. As you see, I'm in the car, the rental car on vacation. So I wanted to jump on and just, say, you know what? We usually be together on Wishful Wednesday, 2350 Network, but we here on Omar's show. Omar, thank you so much. Jackie, it's good to see you.
Damon, you're doing a great job. I'm going to go get some coffee. Can continue, please?
He's like, I want to get back to my vacation now.
Thank you, Damien. Appreciate you being here. I hope you like the surprise, Jackie. I like
oh my gosh, you couldn't have timed that any more perfectly. Damien,
am I supposed to ask a question?
If you want, you would ask her a question, something nobody knows about Jackie. Ask her.
So something nobody knows about Jackie. All right, Jackie. All right.
If that's legal.
Jackie.
Is that possible? Everybody knows.
Jackie, how old were you? How old were you when you first got your ears pierced?
Oh gosh, I don't even know if I know that. I would say my first ones were probably middle school, maybe 6th or 7th grade. I've actually had my ears pierced 3 times, but I only use one hole now.
Got it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Damien. If you want to stick around or not, we have a couple more questions. And people are surprised here that you're amazing here. You made it. She said, oh my God, Damien. And hopefully we'll bring you on the full show one day. And maybe we'll bring Jackie as a surprise. Well, no, I can't do that. You know who it is.
You got to return the favor somehow.
Kind of gave it away. Damien, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your vacation.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Omar.
Please cast your show. Is it tonight, your show? When is your show? Tonight?
No, we're on vacation for the next 2 weeks. So
got it. Okay.
Perfect. It usually would be tonight for his show.
Yeah. They're usually at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Sunday.
Okay. Enjoy your day. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Damien.
Bye.
You just made my heart so happy, Omar. And it's like he and I talk often, but just seeing him surprise on his own vacation. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, no worries. I love to do surprises. So I always kind of do stuff like that. So I look at your connections, see who you know. And like he said, we planned this months and months ago. And so even on vacation. So he's a good guy that he's willing to even do that for you. A lot of people say they'll do it. And last minute, they'll cancel. I had the guest. Like an hour before, she said, oh, I can't do it. Why? And no reason at all. And I suddenly get the reason, and I don't care. And it happens, So, but that you get those connections. You remember those people, So that's okay. Okay. Typically, the show is 30 minutes. We might go over with special guests, as Sandy Green says, overtime. But here's the next one. Have you ever experienced an unexpected guest on your programs? I just talked about my guest who didn't show up an hour before I had the guest. We were 2 hours late. We were supposed to do it live,
Okay.
I'm not going to say who, but they know who they are, and we're still friends. But can you tell us from actually, how many episodes have you done? Let's talk about your programming a bit, and then
So
there'll be one specific to you a bit. Yeah.
actually, the first Monday in April is actually my 1 year anniversary. I have not missed a show yet. So I have done every single Monday for the past year, starting in about a week and a half. So it's been super exciting. That's been 52 shows.
Oh,
I
wow.
think one day, and this happened, I've only think I've had 2 people cancel on like the day before or the day of. But one day usually on my show, I have 2 guests. They're both on about 22 minutes or so. I had both of the guests cancel on the same day, a couple of hours before the show. Not just one. I can fly with one. Both of them. One of them broke their leg that morning, and then one of them was really sick and thought they could make it through, but just couldn't handle it. And I don't feel any ill will or anything about that, but
Yeah.
that show ended up turning into, I opened the stage and let some people come up so I could have other people's voices out there, and the amount of support and the awesome people willing to just jump on stage just so I wasn't alone that night was so powerful. It like did my soul really good. So one of them that had to cancel that night is on the books for May, and the other one hasn't rescheduled yet, but hopefully they'll come back too.
Got it. I think I've seen that episode. Yeah, I remember. But that's nice that you did that. Definitely. I mean, that's awesome. How about somebody? Did you have like a guest who showed up and that said something unusual, and you weren't expecting them to say that, and it was like offended you or something like that? You know, did you have any of that?
Thankfully, nothing has been offensive. I am very clear. You got this before you came on my show. I have lists, and it gives me permission to mute anybody, to delete them off stage, to block them if they are inappropriate, because I will not let anybody disrespect other humans on my show.
Yeah.
And so that has not happened. But I will tell you, I had Jesse Hernandez on my show,
Yeah.
and he and I were in a book together as co-authors in an anthology that Nick had promoted or published. And I knew he was a great guy. I've seen him. He supported different things. He got on my show, and holy smokes, I swear he was the male version of me. We were both talking about as fast as possible. We were both like aligning with everything. It was so wild, because there's some guests that I have that I know super well, and I know I'm just going to love them to death. Every single guest I've had on, I've learned something from. But Jesse, I never expected our personalities to be that in tune. It was the coolest thing. So that was unexpected, but in a super good way.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I think I froze here for a second. There, I'm back. Yeah. When I switched to my other monitor, it freezes there for a second. Okay. Let me get to this one here. Okay. Did you have a hero growing up? Did you watch any TV like Oprah or any of these? Because I grew up watching all the talk shows growing up. My parents were open to TV. We didn't really have cable until we got older. But did you have a hero growing up, either from TV or from family?
Definitely no TV heroes. I mean, I had crushes on a lot of people, but back then I was outside so much when I was a kid. We only watched a tiny bit of TV, very rarely did movies or anything like that. I did watch a couple talk shows like when I was in high school, like after getting out of school, but I never could make it up for the late night talk shows. Never expected to have my own kind of talk show as well. My hero is always going to be, I will say this forever, it's my dad. He had so many significant mental and physical struggles his entire life, and he was still able to show up for everybody. He would literally take the shirt off his back if somebody asked him, even if he was freezing. He had a lot of physical pain and a lot of trauma that I wish nobody ever would have had to go through, but he helped turn me into who I am, man, and I can never thank him enough. He's been gone for way too many years now, and I miss him absolutely every single day.
Oh, absolutely. A family member or a parent or something like that's always somebody that touches you. For me, my grandfather, he passed away until he was 90, 92, 93. And every birthday he would send us a gift card he lived in Europe. And so he would send us that in the mail every birthday. And then once we got older, we have jobs. He didn't send it as much, kind of thing. And we would help him when we can, but we would always see on video kind of thing, and we'd visit him when we can. So amazing to remember that. Okay, so let's talk about your program here. We have just 2 more questions here. So your program just jacked. You said you started it about, you said a year and a half ago?
No, just a year ago.
Or a year ago. So you said April would be a year ago. April. Is that it? Wow. I thought you've been doing it for a while. That's amazing.
Some days it feels like it, Omar.
How did you, so do you know Donald Cohen? I'm not sure if you remember Donald. So this week, well, a week ago, it's been 3 years since he invited me on the show. It's been like forever almost. So I called him up, we're friends and all that. But I was like, it's been 3 years since he introduced me to live broadcasting.
Wow.
And so because of him, I got the bravery to go out and do this. And then I wasn't expecting to be in season 5 in the fall. And here we go. It's like I'm booked until May. People are interested in being there. 3,000 plus followers, that kind of thing. And so how did you, a year ago, only a year, how did you get the name and who gave you the idea to do that? I mean, maybe Damien is part of it, or
No, actually, this was
commenting there, right?
only
Surprise you right there. That's his comment, probably. No user, so LinkedIn user. Go ahead. Sorry.
he did great. So one of my friends would sometimes call me Jax just as a nickname type of a thing, but not a lot of people ever called me that. And when I have a small side business called Tripping with Jax that is all about trying to encourage people to solo travel and not stay home just because somebody else can't go with you. And really wanted to encourage, especially females, that a lot of times they will say, oh, I can't go by myself, or oh, I have to go with a partner, or oh, I've got kids, I can't do that. So I started this business really to be more of a retreat, kind of like a opportunity to travel maybe with me, but yet still have your own vacation on top of it. So I called that Tripping with Jax. And with some of the changes that happened the past year and a half in America, didn't feel quite as safe with people coming to travel or encouraging people to travel quite the same way because of so many issues with immigration and lockdowns and all kinds of things. So I switched my focus to really think about different ways that I can encourage and use that. So I really use the Just Jax as it's, even though it was Tripping with Jax, Just Jax to me was, hey, I am just Jackie. I am just the normal person, but I want to highlight all these guests on these show, really be able to highlight diversity all across the globe, people that may not ever do the kind of work you've done. Maybe they don't have the same religion. Maybe they're not the same age or gender. They have different thoughts and reasons they do stuff. So that's why I did it Just Jax and Guests, because I didn't want it just my name. So I had that spin with the Jax instead of Jackie. And then I created my new business, which is Just Jax Advising. So it all kind of lines up together so that I can do consultation and I can do different things. And on my year anniversary show, which is always every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on my year anniversary, so a week from tomorrow, I will be unveiling a new service that I'm going to offer with my Just Jax Advising services. So I'm super excited to do that too.
Amazing. That's awesome. Glad we got to know about that a little bit. Unfortunately, Mr. Lee says I didn't get with my dad. Fortunately, yeah, we all have that one family member that we don't get to know, but we have memories of them. And thankfully for that, I didn't know my grandfather, my mom's dad. So, but I had three of the four that I knew. So he passed away like the year I was born. So, which you hear memories of them. So that kind of thing. So, Tripping with Jax kind of thing. So we have one more question here, and then we'll be ending Palm Sunday, and then this must be Damien. Or no, who I don't know who that is.
Yeah, it's Damien.
Okay. Okay. Now this is the question I asked all 73 people before you.
Mm-hmm.
Who want to create a product or a concept to benefit humanity? What would it be? It could be anything, an idea, a product, something to help humanity that hasn't been invented and you want to prove on. What would you do?
So it would be definitely something to stimulate your brain, to make sure that any evil thoughts are taken away so people can actually be nice to humans, and we stop war and we stop violence and we stop all the evil stuff that goes on. So I don't know if there's going to be some kind of thing we implant in our brain, or if somebody's going to just create and look at some kind of a synapse in our brain and just be like, let's get rid of that one. But that's what I would create for sure, because we need to be nicer to people.
That would be amazing. Yeah. A lot of it is also trauma, or a lot of it is because of a mental thing that happened. And then, so like, let's say exactly two countries are fighting each other mentally from way years ago, or thousands of years ago. You had that in your mind. So something happened, but then there are people inside should change that concept. But I love that idea, because you're like me, you like the humanitarian, you like to know the people, because we're the same. Like we have the same,
we're all humans,
same skin, different colors. We have the inside is the same. If you cut us in the middle, you get 10, 20 people. They look the same from the inside, right? So that's the thing, So that's amazing that you're doing that. And tell us now about you in about a minute. We're almost ending the show. Tell us, who is Jackie? What is Jackie all about? We heard a lot about you. We know that you're a big fan of Damien. And what was he writing here? 73 guests That's amazing. No, 74, Damien.
I'm
Can you
74. So
comment
73.
there, please? 74. Just kidding. Okay, go ahead.
I love it. So I am a nonprofit executive director by day. I do very heavy stuff because I work with the conflict and crime area. So I actually work with people getting in and out of jail or prison, people that have violated other people, caused that harm that we were talking about, and also victims of crime and people that are just starting to have disagreements and stuff. And it gets very difficult. It's very tough work. And so I do take some of that in my side business. I do try to work with people to try to get rid of some of that anger and that hate. And by doing that, by rebuilding their own mindset, but also helping their relationships, I try to work with people that are maybe stuck in a dating era where they're not happy with who they're with, or they're not getting the opportunities they would love to, or the person that they're with is not treating them very well, or they don't know how to communicate with them. So I try to open up that communication and really make sure that's out there. So easiest way to reach me is following with my LinkedIn, but I really would love to grow my YouTube platform, which Omar just put on the screen, at Jackie Hallberg LMSW. My TikTok channel is actually under Tripping with Jax, because when I started that, it was about travel. Nobody loves me on TikTok. Like, I cannot grow for anything, but I post so much free dating and relationship advice. Please go check it out. It's Tripping with Jax, and then my name on there is Jackie Ray. It has so much information, so you don't even have to work with me to help learn a lot of really cool skills. Otherwise, you can reach out directly, but I definitely want you to check out justjaxadvising.com, which is my website. You can learn more about me, and then you can always watch my show at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Monday. Learn a little bit about me, but really learn about at least one or two amazing humans. So you can check out all the replays, including the one that Omar was a guest on my YouTube channel as well.
Exactly. Watch it. Connect with Jackie. She's an amazing guest. She's always looking for amazing guests to be on her show. And then I think somebody has a question for you. First time this show. What would you say to 70-year-old Jackie?
Girl. I would say.
Wait, I have to say, I'm trying to get Jane on the show. She's refusing. So if you can be on the show, Jane, please.
She's amazing. And
Go ahead,
doing your Zoom was so great. I loved her on that. So 7-year-old Jackie, I would say so many things. First of all, I would say talk to your dad more, write down things, video with him, take pictures with him, because he's not going to last as long as you want him to. Number two, I would say do not listen to all the haters when people bash you and they tell you you're ugly, you're fat, you're stupid, you're just a woman, you're this, you're that. It's because they're not happy with themselves. Do not let them hold you down, and remind yourself every single day is a gift, and to surround yourself with great people. I think if I had those things to change back when I was 7, I would not have had so much stress and so much other stuff. The world would not maybe be perfect, but I know I would have a little bit better soul in myself too.
Amazing. And so that's beautiful, because you're actually saving somebody. So if somebody listens to that at 7-year-old right now, they can listen to that advice, and they can rewatch this, because this is on LinkedIn and YouTube forever, and they can get that advice there. Definitely. Well, I want to thank you for being on the program. I guess number 74. Hopefully you'll be back for the 100th episode. We'll get 100 guests. I've done more probably, because we did different things, book editions and that. Your closing thoughts. I appreciate you being here in about a minute before I play the outro.
Yeah, well, I appreciate, Omar, you and everybody in the comments. Special thanks to Damien for taking time on his vacation to give that beautiful smile to me. But really, the people even watching on replay, please get your words out there. Your voice is just as important. Even if you've never done a show before, even if you've never hosted something, you bring value. You deserve to have your words out there. And there are so many hosts and hostesses out there that would love to lift you up and help you see yourself, and also take care of yourself. If that means going to the doctor, using a therapist, using a coach, whether it's for yourself, your relationship, don't feel like that's weak, and don't feel like you're not deserving of that. Thank you guys so much for listening to me and supporting. I appreciate it, Omar. Thank you.
Amazing. Pause here. All right. Thank you, Jackie, for being on the program. I'll keep you here, and then I'll put the outro, and then we'll talk for a few seconds here. We'll be back again, I believe, in 2 weeks, and then we'll be doing an April Fool's special. Look for that on April Fool's Day. So look for the recording of that. It'll be fun, because I love to collaborate and do fun things with people around. And maybe we'll collaborate with Jackie in the future as well. And maybe in the next season, I'll have a co-host. Maybe not. We'll see. So I always like to do surprises, and things will change. Maybe I'll have a co-host every show. We'll see. And so great job interviewing Felipe says, and we'll play the outro. Thank you, Jackie, again. And bye, guys. We will see you again next time on Do We Really Know Them?